Hey folks, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to spend some time and I'm going to run DeepSeek-R1, which is one of the best open source large language models with the capability to do the thinking on my Android device. And we're going to be doing this using Termux, which is a terminal for Android, just like we have terminals for Windows, Mac, and so on and so forth. So to show you how a terminal looks like, this is how it looks, where you can put command and run certain programs, right? So in this case, I'm going to say Ollama list, which will give me a list of all the large language models installed on this laptop. Now note that you will also need Ollama for this, and the Ollama won't be installed in here, rather it will be installed on your mobile phone. So let's get started. In order to first use this, you will need to download this from the GitHub repo. Now, one of the disclaimers that I would want to call out here is that this is actually downloading something that is not listed on Play Store. So if you're a bit cautious about installing certain applications on your mobile phone, please don't do it yourself. Rather, just watch the tutorial first and then decide if you'd want to do it. Now, I'm going to take this risk just to show you guys how we can run these large language open source models on your mobile phone. And maybe from that point, we can build our own personal assistants and so on and so forth that can power, these powerful large language models in our computer, right? So I'm going to open Ollama and I'm going to show you exactly what model I'm going to be using. So go to ollama.com and then click on the DeepSeek-R1 model. And in here, you can see there's a 1.5 billion parameter model, which is a smaller version, 1.1 GB. And that's what we're going to be using on our mobile phone. Either ways, let's go back to the app, and inside the releases folder, you can go to releases by opening the Termux app, which was the repo that we were in. And I'm going to share the link to the repo as well. You can see that this almost has like 40,000 stars, which kind of gives me a little bit more trust on this as opposed to if it had no stars, right? So as you can see, it has around 40,000 stars, which kind of establishes some trust in this, but I'm still going to tell you to wait until I install and show you how it actually works on mobile phone. So click on the releases here, and in here you will see a bunch of different download options. For our example, go ahead and download this one, Termux app version 0.119.0, and download this APK and then get it on your mobile phone, Android phone, and install it on your phone. So we will continue on our mobile phone from here. So I'm going to install the app now. It shows the app is unsafe and it's blocked. So I'm going to install anyways. And then I'm going to open the app. All right, so it looks like we are in the terminal now, and we'll have to add a bunch of different commands in order to make this work. All right, so this might take a while, so bear with me. The first command we need to run is Termux setup storage. And this essentially will allow the app to get access to our storage. Or it should be Termux, oh, my bad. All right, so I'm going to run this command, and this, it looks like, will give access to the storage. So it looks like we have the access to storage now. The next thing we would do is pkg upgrade. All right, so once we put this command, this should essentially download the latest version of the app on your device. The next thing we would want to do is install Git, CMake, and Golang in our mobile phone so that we have access to the GitHub repository and so on and so forth. I'm going to do yes. It's going to take a while to install. All right, so the installation is complete. Now we're going to be downloading install Git, CMake, and Golang. Right, so these are the programming languages and packages that we will need in order to run these large language models. The next thing that we'll do is get the Ollama framework in our mobile phone, which will allow us to clone these large language models and run them locally. All right, so I'm going to do Y here. You can see I'm downloading and cloning Golang right now. And you can see it's going to take some time to download everything in our mobile phone right now. All right, so looks like everything is downloaded now, and I'm going to do git clone. Obviously, I can just, copy the command and paste it here. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm going to go to Ollama and copy the command. Let me pause this. All right, so let's see if I can paste this here. Git clone dep1 GitHub Ollama git. So I want to clone this on my mobile phone. Because I have git installed, I should be able to clone it now. It looks like we already cloned this. Now let's go to this folder and do cd Ollama. All right, so now we are inside the Ollama folder. Now we need to generate the schema for it, or rather activate the framework by running the Go language. So go generate. So let's run this command. It says no Go files under this. We want to generate Go code, but it does not look like it's working. But I'm able to do the build here, right? So it looks like I'm able to build using go build all. And I'm going to be putting the list of all the commands that you need to run. So don't worry about this. You can see I'm downloading all the packages that I will need in order to run this. So it can take some time in order to download all of these packages. So stay with me. It's similar to you doing pip install on Python, where it will download a bunch of different dependencies that your laptop or your computer will need in order to run specific things on your local computer. Once this is downloaded, the next step would be to kind of, serve Ollama, which will essentially start Ollama on your mobile phone. And I think that would be the last command that we will run. Post that, we will just clone the model that we need to run in order to access it on your mobile phone or on our mobile phone. So it's taking some time to download. I'm just going to wait this out now. All right, so post your packages are installed, what you need to do is run this command /Ollama serve ampersand, and this will generate a new private key and start serving Ollama for you. I don't know if this is going to, so it appears that it is running on localhost 127.0.11434, meaning that we are now running Ollama on our mobile phone. The next thing we need to do is specify the model that we want to run. And in our case, we are going to be using this DeepSeek-R1 model, the smaller version, 1.5 billion parameter model, in order to run this in our mobile phone. So let's go ahead and, put the command to clone this. All right, so let's go ahead and put the command now. I'm going to do /Ollama. Then it's going to be run DeepSeek-R1 and then 1.5 billion. Fingers crossed. Let's see if this works. So it is now downloading the model for us, which in my opinion does mean that we are all set and we may be able to run this large language model locally. So I'm actually super happy that I was able to pull this off, because a lot of these experiments that I've tried before this end up not working. And this one seems to be heading in the direction where I may actually end up running this model on my mobile phone, right? The best part about this is that not only can you chat with the model using the Termux UI or the Termux terminal, you can actually, serve this and allow different apps to use this large language model, which is a huge thing. Because it's essentially an API endpoint that is now exposed for your applications to use and, generate chat requests per se. So I think just 400 more MB and we're there. So I'm just going to wait this out, and I hope that by the end of this, we're able to actually use this model on our mobile phone. There are also ways to then, I'm also going to show you this article that I referred in order to get this running. So if you've gone ahead and set this up on your mobile phone, you may also want to clean up this post the setup itself, because maybe you were just testing this. So there are a set of instructions that you can do as well, and I'm going to paste the link to the documentation or link that I referred in order to get this working. It's beautiful, simple setup, and it works apparently, because I was able to get this running on my computer. So let's just wait for a few more seconds. Looks like the download speed significantly dropped as we reach the final leg of the download. I think it happens to a lot of us for some weird reason, but it looks like it's picking up again now. So I'm just going to wait until this is done. All right. And it looks like we are all set up. I am able to see the chat interface here, and I'm going to just say hi. Note this is DeepSeek-R1 model running in my mobile phone, and it looks awesome. So I was finally able to run this on my Android phone, and it looks like it is an API endpoint that I can also use for my applications when I want, right? So what's the meaning of life? And I'm going to put this forward, and it looks like it's generating the chat for us. Obviously, the UI isn't that beautiful, but it gets the job done. I mean, we wanted to run a large language model like DeepSeek-R1 on our mobile phone, specifically Android, and it looks like we're able to. I hope this kind of gives you a direction in scenarios where you're confused if you want to buy an Android phone or an iOS phone. I mean, Android allows you to do all these sorts of things. So at this point, I think you're very clear with respect to where you want to go. But awesome. So what is the meaning of life? It's the most profound and universal of the human queries. It touches fundamental aspects. In Western philosophy, thinkers like Descartes, existentialists, and interpretation and empiricists. Oh man, I'm having problems pronouncing these things. But either ways, we wanted to get it running on our Android phone, and here we are, right? So now it's time to kind of show you what I used as the reference doc in order to make this work. And at the same time, I also want to ensure that you have the commands to remove this in case you want to, right? So the article that I referred in order to get this up and running is this one, running Llama 3.2 on Android. So this guide was for Llama 3.2, but because this uses Ollama, I can actually extend this to DeepSeek-R1 and any model that Ollama announces in the future. So we went step by step, right? So we first downloaded the APK file, we granted access to our storage, we updated the packages, then we installed Git, CMake, and Golang. You can actually also install Python and run Python on your Android phone now. Then we cloned this library, we cloned this GitHub repo, we navigated to the Ollama location, and then we built the Go project, right? So which is essentially installed all the necessary libraries Ollama needed in order to make this work in our mobile phone. Then we served this, meaning we started running this, and then we went ahead and downloaded the model that we wanted to run. And you can download any model here. If you have the storage for it, if you have 144 GB worth of storage, you can download the biggest version of DeepSeek-R1 as well. You can also remove these files once you're done by just doing chmod /-r and then 700 at 700/go, and this is essentially the set of steps that you would want to run or you want to execute in scenarios where you want to remove this from your local computer or Android phone at this point of time. So really cool. Thank you so much for following along, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.